Right, Bristol, how are we doing? It's really great to be here in the best city in the country, obviously, my hometown, and obviously the birthplace of the mighty, mighty ACORN. Now, just before Christmas 2013, I was homeless, relying on the kindness of friends for somewhere to stay after my landlord evicted me so that he could raise the rent. Renters were unorganised and we had no power. A few months later, me and three mates were sat on a dirty sofa in a shitty rented house owned by millionaire landlords. And we were dreaming of building an organisation that would harness the power of our communities to resist the attacks of landlords, politicians and big business, and that would build the power of our class. Today, our union ACORN is the vehicle for that. We are organised in 27 towns and cities around the country, and we are thousands strong. And you know what? We need to be strong for the battles that our communities are facing every single day, and for those battles that are still to come. It is intolerable that we live in the 5th richest country in the world, and yet millions of people, our friends, our neighbours, our members, are forced to use food banks to survive. It is intolerable that millions of families are forced to choose between paying the rent and paying their heating bills. They just keep rising and rising. It is intolerable that millions of parents having to skip meals so they can feed their kids. And it is intolerable that millions of our people do not earn a living wage. There is no cost of living crisis. The problem is that this country is set up to benefit the rich and screw the rest of us. We've got energy companies jacking up their prices at the same time as politicians deliberately raise the price cap. We've got employers paying poverty wages on insecure contracts, while at the same time politicians of all stripes have spent decades attacking and restricting the trade union movement. And they sell off our council housing so that landlords can squeeze tenants for every penny, while our homes hemorrhage heat and fall down around our ears. Our new Prime Minister says that she's going to make this country into an aspiration nation. Yeah, it is a joke because we already are and we always have been. Ordinary people, we are the aspirational ones. We aspired to decent healthcare when we get old or sick. So what did we do? We built the NHS. We aspired, don't know where that's coming from, we aspired to not get chucked on the scrap heap because we were too old to work. So we built the welfare state. We aspired to not have to live in slums, and so we built millions of council homes. And we aspired to a decent wage and safe and dignified working conditions. So we formed trade unions and we won that too. Now, the Tories and their CEO mates, they want to talk cheap sound bites about aspiration. They want to talk the language of self-improvement and self-reliance. Well, no way, because that does not belong to them. It belongs to us. They have never done a day's work in their lives. They don't maintain the tracks or drive the trains. They don't deliver the mail in the sun, the snow, and the rain. They don't sit by the bedside of the sick and elderly and care for them. They don't stack the shelves, they don't clean the streets, and they don't teach our children. They don't do any of the work that generates all this money, all these vast profits, but they want to tell us that somehow all this money belongs to them. It doesn't. It is time for us to fight back. We need to organise in our communities and in our workplaces and build a movement that truly says enough is enough. They want to talk about aspiration. We pulled ourselves up by our own bootstraps. We've never had anything from anybody. Everything that we've got, we built ourselves. Everything we have, we sacrificed and we sweated for. Us, our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents before us. The working class built this country. It belongs to us and we can take it back. We are the aspirational ones. We aspire to a better world, to a decent society for everybody. We're not mugs, we're human beings, ordinary working class people, and we deserve to live with dignity. There is no cost of living crisis. Profits are up, they're breaking records everywhere you look, but they're stealing it from us. Their interests and our interests are not the same. They are fundamentally opposed. Their profits are up for one reason, because they're keeping our wages down. It really is that simple. If someone's got a pound that they never worked for, then someone else worked for a pound that they didn't get. These bastards are ruining this country. They're driving it into the ground and asset stripping entire industries so they can line their own pockets. They are raking in obscene profits while a corrupt and arrogant political class of tax dodgers, landed gentry and mediocre careerists either actively facilitate it and try their best to join them, or else are just too weak and unimaginative to do anything about it. Either way, the only people we can rely on are ourselves, and the only organisations that will support us and fight for us are unions, in the community and in the workplace. These are the self-defence organisations of the working class. Over the last few weeks, ACORN has turned out hundreds of members across dozens of cities in support of our comrades on strike in the CWU, the RMT and ASLEF, and we will continue to do so. We joined this movement so that we can fight alongside our brothers and sisters in the trade union, because we understand that an injury to one really is an injury to all. If we want to transform this country for good, then we need to unite, and a strong Labour Community Alliance is how we win. Now, we suffered and we struggled and we kept the country going during COVID, as we always do. And time again, they made it very clear that there's one rule for them and another one for the rest of us. Well, no more. Those who hoard precious resources during times of war are called profiteers. Well, there is a war, and it has been waged against our communities for hundreds of years. The class war is the struggle between us and those who exploit our labour, those who keep us living in slum housing, and those who rip us off for the basic services that we all depend on. Faced with these constant attacks, we will not just stand firm, we will not take a single step back. We will advance and we will go on the offensive. Already, even at our relatively small size, ACORN has put tens of millions of pounds back in the pockets of working class people. If solidarity is a weapon in the hands of the working class, then our union will be an arsenal. We are aggressively and strategically organising communities up and down the country, and that is something that no other organisation is doing. Guess what? We are really, really good at it. We know what it takes to build a strong fighting union, and we know how to win. Enough is enough. We're not going to beg for their scraps anymore. We don't want the crumbs from their table. We are sick of being poor, and we are tired of having the piss taken out of us. We refuse to be weak anymore. We are going to bring the union to every city, town and village in the country. We will protect our union brothers and sisters, we will defend our communities, and we will win. This is our mission, this is our duty and our commitment to our communities and to our class. We're ACORN and we're taking what's ours. Let's do it.